Just play the damn thing.
So by now you may be aware that that Motley Crue dropped a new single here within the last few days, last week or so. What you may or may not know about me, I'm actually a huge Motley Crue fan. I've been listening to them since I was a kid. I own all of their albums, listen to everything they've done. I've seen them live, I don't know how many times. They're just one of those rock metal bands that have always been there throughout the course of my life. I'm a pretty big Crue fan. As a big Crue fan, it's been disappointing to see the split between between Nicky, Vince, and Tommy, and Mick Mars splitting from the band and all that kind of stuff, and all the turmoil and that's going on between them. So it's kind of sad to see, unfortunately. But both parties are in the middle of trying to move on, and Mick Mars, of course, dropped his new album a month or so ago. And now it was Crue's turn, and they just dropped their new single, and the rock and roll community lost their collective fucking minds over it, and are suddenly now all up in a tizzy about, oh, this is terrible, this is a Motley Crue song, oh, what were they thinking dropping? And those were all the reactions that I heard from most people, when it dropped. And because of that, admittedly, I kind of dismissed it, didn't make it a real big priority to go check it out, but I decided that I shouldn't do that. I decided that I should at least listen to it myself a couple of times rather than let others influence my own opinion. By the way, if you want to go check it out, if you haven't heard it, I'll post a link up here in the card so you can go see it, as well as down in the description. So just go click on that. It's a 4-minute watch. So I went and listened to it, and actually, I thought it was actually pretty good. I thought it was as good as anything else that has come out. New music from older bands like that has come out in recent years. I enjoyed it, so I'm glad that I didn't let others influence my opinion. But here is what I do think about it. It doesn't really sound much like a Motley Crue song, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. As bands need to change and start to learn to do some different things and adapt to the times, as time goes on. Every band will go through those changes at some point, whether they like them or not. In this case, you can definitely hear John 5's influence, and that made me think about a couple of things. Number one, I've been saying for years that Mick Mars is one of the most underrated guitar players on the planet, if not the most underrated guitar player on the planet. I actually did a video a few years back on underrated guitar players, and Mick Mars absolutely was on that list. At least he should have been. If I left him off, that's pretty stupid of me. But I think he's on there. I think I did put him in there. There's no way I would have left him out. And it makes me wonder just how much influence he may have actually had on the band overall for all of those years. And I've always known that he's had a lot of influence on it. And he's responsible for a lot of the songwriting and all that kind of stuff. He's always had great guitar tone and some killer riffs. He's a great guitar player. But I'm beginning to wonder if he didn't have a lot more to do with the music of that band than I had given him credit for. Because with this new single, like I said, it does not sound like anything Motley Crue I've ever heard. It sounds a lot, you could definitely hear John 5's influence on it. And for this new era of Motley Crue, I suppose that kind of makes sense, because, you think about it, Nicky Sixx is probably a below average bass player. He can he gets the job done. He can play Crue songs, but I don't know that he's ever really been regarded as a great bass player. I don't know any bass players that have ever wanted to be Nicky Sixx. And as for Vince Neil and Tommy Lee, I imagine those two still hate each other as much as they always have. So that had to be all kinds of fun for those two to work together. So that leaves John 5. Somebody had to write the damn thing, right? So taking all that into consideration, really, what did we expect? Yeah, it is a Motley Crue song heavily influenced by John 5 and his guitar tones and guitar playing style and all that kind of stuff. So, but that said, regardless of the influence, regardless of what what band it may or may not sound like. You know, and I've heard people comparing it to Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie and all the other, you know, the other metal stuff that that John Five has been involved in throughout the course of his career. Maybe a fair criticism. I'm not necessarily gonna argue that. I can see that argument as well. Regardless, I still thought that the single was really, really good. Again, it's called Dogs of War. You know, I posted, again, check out the link in the description or the link in the card. If it'll let me post the card twice, I'll put it up here again for you to check out. Otherwise, scroll back to the beginning of the video and watch it if you haven't already. And comment down below. Let me know what you think. You know, are you guys being as open-minded about it as I am, or are you absolutely disgusted and, you know, want to, you know, take it and burn it and throw it out the window? So let me know. Adios.